Okay, dear friends, I'm back. Today, I'd like to go through the machine of Optimum on the Hackthebox. I have already spawned this machine earlier, and this is the IP address of the target. And I'd like to use the Box, which is online payload OS provided by the Hackthebox to do this penetration. Before we begin today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. This will help me very much. You are greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's just get started. So then we can switch over to Hackthebox viewer or Hackthebox, the Payload OS GUI application. As you can see, I have already done the Nmap scanning with the usual options like a scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and also the comprehensive scan or full range port scan. And I'd like to use the T4 to speed up the scanning process. So from the Nmap scanning results, as you can see over here, there just only one open port on the target, which is 80 running HTTP service, and also the actual version information, which is HTTP file server. So maybe at this point we can make some research to see whether there is a vulnerability for this version. We can use the Google. We can use the Google and HTTP file server exploit. As you can see, it does have and the exploit database, and this vulnerability is remote command execution, which is very wonderful. And as you can see, but also, can you notice that the Metasploit also has a module which can work for this vulnerability? And so we can use, of course, if the Metasploit has module which possibly work, this way would be the most preferable way to do, because the process would be much more straightforward and more convenient. So I think I'd like to use the Metasploit. I like to try the Metasploit first, and if this module or the Metasploit is not working, and then I try something else. So let's launch the Metasploit console. So as Pentester, the Metasploit is so useful and powerful. We need to remember this anytime. Also, when I did this machine the first time, the GitHub has exploit which can also work. But here, for the convenience of this video, I'd like to use the Metasploit, and we can search I think maybe I can use the HTTP file server. Make a copy, because I don't want to type in anyway. And copy the module name. And we can show options, right? And then we need to set some things like localhost to our online payload OS. And as always, I like to change the local port to 555. Okay, and then we need to set the remote host to the target. I think we have already configured every required fields the remote port we can leave 80 as its default one. So we can run this module. Yeah, Metasploit session opened. It looks like it's working. Okay, and we can, who am I? But of course we can get the user flag first. Cat user. Yeah, we got the user flag. Now I think for us we need to elevate our privilege to administrator or root user. So how to do? And we can list the processes. You know, the default payload for the Metasploit would be 86, the x86 architecture. And in order to make this payload or this Metasploit to be more stable, we'd like to migrate the current Metasploit processes to x64. So I'd like to migrate to this one, Explorer, because this process is running on the x64. So how to do it? We can use the migrate, and the process number is this one. Yeah, it's migrating. Yeah, completed successfully. So I'd like to background existing Metasploit, and now we can search suggester. Yeah, my machine is not running properly. Suggester. You know, this module can give us the way to make elevation. Suggester. So we just wait for this to be shown up. I mean the result. As you can see, we got the module name. Of course, this module is a post exploitation module. We can use this one. Yeah, my internet or my machine is terrible at this moment. But I don't want to restart my machine. Anyway, and we can show options. I think the only one field we have to configure is session number. Of course, just now we have already got only one session, and then we can run this module, and this module will collect all possible local exploit for us, and also will confirm or make a test whether such a module can be working. As you can see, yeah, this module is collecting local exploits for this machine or for this target. So we just wait for this to be finished to see whether we can find out such exploit. So I think in this a machine, the only or the most important tool to use is Metasploit. The Metasploit can do the initial foothold to get the initial foothold, and also can do the post exploitation. As you know, I use the Metasploit very often. Anytime, we cannot forget the Metasploit, which can make our pen testing much easier in many cases. But of course, as I mentioned at the very beginning, there is GitHub. There is exploit code on the GitHub, which can also work. Yeah, it's completed, and of course, this module gives us some possible or potentially vulnerable, and of course you can try one by one, but the one which will work is this one. We can make a copy. Of course, if you wish, you can try all of them, and we can use and paste in here. Then we can show options, and we need to set a local host, and we need to set different local port number, which is different from the original one. We can set it to like 999. It doesn't matter. And also we need to set the session, the existing session number to 1. And now we can run this module, the post exploitation module. Yeah, it looks like it's working, and we can go to the dir users. We can go to dir, go to the administrator, and go to the desktop dir, and then we can get the root flag, without any issue. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this machine. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.